Hey, what's up guys, it's Mort back again with another video, and today I'm gonna be giving or suggesting to you guys 10 mangas which feature gangs, delinquents, and the high school delinquent life in Japan, and I'm gonna be only putting ones without an anime adaptation. And by the way, this list will be on random, not worst to best or best to worst, but in random. So yeah, please don't forget to smash the like button and comment on what genre you want me to do next, or maybe part 2 of this video probably. And don't forget to subscribe as well to help me out. And yeah, here we go! So first up at number 10 is we have A-Bout. Mitsumine High School is known as the school with the most juvenile delinquents in the country. The students are so violent that even the teachers are scared for their lives. Sunahara is the leader of the first years and is the strongest dude of his class, but when the transfer student Asagiri Shinosuke makes an appearance at the school, he starts taking down names and kicking up dust like a tornado. If the students thought things were violent and unpredictable at Mitsumine, they haven't seen anything yet since Asagiri is here to become the champion of the school. This manga is a mix of comedy but at the same time the fights get you hyped, and it also has some goofy looking ass characters, and the main character is just as stupid as most of the characters in the series, which makes it enjoyable, and every chapter really makes you just, giggle. Overall, the story is okay, maybe decent. The art is good for a comedy manga, especially in the fights. So yeah, my personal score for it is, out of a 10, it's gotta be a 7. So yeah, moving on to the next one. So at number 9 is we have Tokyo Revengers. Takemichi Hanagiki's life is at an all-time low. Just when he thought it couldn't get worse, he finds out that Hinata Tachibana, his ex-girlfriend, was murdered by the Tokyo Manji Gang, a group of vicious criminals that has been disturbing society's peace for quite some time. Wondering where it all went wrong, Takemichi suddenly finds himself traveling through time, ending up 12 years in the past when he was still in a relationship with Hinata. Realizing he has a chance to save her, Takemichi resolves to infiltrate the Tokyo Manji Gang and climb the ranks in order to rewrite the future and save Hinata from her tragic fate. I'ma keep it real, this is a very good manga, and by the way, it's getting an anime this 2021 and I'm hyped for it. It has a sort of like a Steins Gate ReZero feeling to it since it involves time travel and solving the past through knowledge of the future. Solid story, solid characters, solid plot twist, solid art, and definitely a 10 out of 10. So up next at number 8 is we have Acid Town. In a city where the law has been rendered non-existent, Yuki and his best friend Tetsu break into the offices of the Sedoika to steal in a desperate attempt to finance his ailing brother's hospital bills. They ultimately fail, but instead spark the interest of the mob's young leader Kazuka Hyodo, who offers Yuki a deal he can't refuse. Pay him a visit at his office once a week and all the hospital bills will be taken care of. Yuki accepts without hesitance, and in order to keep his end of the deal, starts paying Hyodo the visits he asked for. Well, if you guys like yourself a good dark yaoi manga, well this is for you. Story is well written, not your typical yaoi mangas where I give you saki-saki and you give me saki-saki, then I make your dad come over and give you a good time at the back. No, it's not like that, but the dad thing, well, just see for yourself. The characters are really well written. The story starts from like some Horimiya type and proceeds to a school days type one, but hey, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. At number 7 is we have Akumetsu. Due to an economic downturn plaguing Japan, Shina Nagasawa decides to take up prostitution as a means to support her family after her father goes bankrupt. To this end, she attends a party where the high-profile government members in attendance are all eager to satisfy their carnal desires. As Shina degrades herself, an intruder wearing an exotic mask crashes the party and she recognizes him as her classmate Sho Hazama. Claiming to be Akumetsu, he interrogates Japan's former finance minister about all the evil deeds the other has committed. He then proceeds to brutally murder the man and drag his body to the lobby. When Akumetsu is shot, he somehow blows his own head afterwards. Still in disbelief, Shina manages to go to school the next day. But in a shocking turn of events, Sho Hazama is there to greet her in the classroom. How is he alive and what does he intend to do next? If I had to compare this to an anime, it would be Death Note. I don't like comparing, but the concept is as close as it is. The concept of who is good and who is not. This is what mostly makes up of this manga story. The art is god tier if you ask me. If you like yourself some dark realistic art with the expression of death and evil really portrayed well through the art, The story is pretty straightforward, so it's not that hard to understand while having a little bit of depth into it. Honestly, the characters could have been better because it seems like the supporting characters were a bit lacking, but the MC was made to be a masterpiece nonetheless. Still a solid manga, my score would be an 8.5. And so at number 6 is we have Rookies. Professor Kawato is the new Japanese teacher in the ill-famed Futagotamaga High School, whose baseball club is composed by thugs and bullies who have been suspended for a year from all school competitions for causing a brawl during an official match. Now that the suspension is over, the only club's members left are interested only in women, smoking, and doing nothing until under Professor Kawato's guidance, they discover a new dream called Koshien. The road to Koshien is far from easy, as they have to get back in shape to learn how to play baseball and to win everyone else's mistrust, including the principals and the other professors. Sweating and fighting, the baseball club will find its determination and strength as they proceed towards their dreams, while Kawato's enthusiastic and non-conventional ways slowly change the attitude of everyone near them. I had this manga listed back in the 10 sports mangas you must read, so if you wanna check that out, I'ma put a description down below. And this manga was quite enjoyable, the feelings of having mixed emotions while reading this. It's like you're one with the characters, you feel their pain, their joy, and this manga makes you laugh at times. This was a good manga overall, a solid 8.5. And so next up at number 5 is we have Holy Land. A tormented soul, Yu Kameshiro has no place in society. His peers constantly abuse him at school and finds that he does not fit anywhere. Out of desperation, Yu stops going to school and ventures into the night in search of a safe haven where he will be accepted. As Yu roams the streets, he starts to believe he has found his place in society and a way to gain acceptance in a world of violence and lenient law. Yu takes up his fist in order to gain strength to protect himself, training and refining a single boxing punch. After honing his fist, Yu wanders the streets once again, defending himself from street thugs, building a reputation as the thug hunter. Yu finds that his name has been attracting all sorts of people seeking him out for a brawl. Fight after fight, Yu exchanges fists to find his place in the twisted and dark society of the streets, all while battling the darkness welling up within him. The stronger he becomes, the closer he is to reach his Holy Land. The story is really good and captivating if you like martial art mangas, and you like this. The characters are really well written, well since this is more of a realistic manga, they're not the type to be the OP ones. But just like every other human, they got stepped down on and they have flaws which makes them more relatable. The art is good for the time it was made. A good overall manga, I give it an 8. And so at number 4 is we have Clover. Misaki Hayato returns to his hometown and enrolls in the same high school as his two childhood friends. A lot has changed in the years he has been gone. His former best friends are seemingly distant from each other and leading relatively normal high school lives. Hayato's sudden arrival soon changes that and sends shockwaves through the entire town's delinquent population with his willingness to do anything for his friends and his love for a good fight. If you like a loud and annoying main character, you'll definitely love this manga. Just reminds me of Asta, even the title does. The story is really like a typical shonen where every villain is stronger than the previous one, but the thing is, the fights are expressed really good. It makes you hype and root for the MC and his friends. The art is really good, and it's a bit on the realistic side, and they always give notice to the fashion in this manga, from the hair to the drip, and they don't look the same all the time wearing the same clothes for 2 seasons. And the author really gives mind to the timeline of the manga, since he changes the character designs almost every time a year has passed. Overall, an 8.3 for me. Next at number 3 is we have Crows. This manga actually had a 2-episode OVA back in 1994, but that doesn't count. Harumichi Boya transfers to Suzuran High, but this isn't just any school, it is known as Crow High, where all the delinquent students attend. The story is well written and pretty straightforward, so it's easy to understand and not get lost. The story is built really well from transitioning to one arc to another, and yet deaths is something in this manga. Just because it has comedy in it doesn't mean someone won't die. The art is really well drawn, it's nothing crazy but the fights are really easy to follow. The characters have personality, even the characters who are considered to be the side characters have personalities as well, which makes this manga better. Makes you just want to be friends with them. Great manga, great story, great characters, I'm gonna give it a 9. At number 2 is we have Worst. This manga is the sequel to Sonogo no Crows, which is the sequel to Crows, the one mentioned at number 3. Hana Tsukishima is a country boy that recently moved to the city. He is a good guy, ingenuous and honest, but he is also very strong. His goal is to become the strongest student of a school of thugs led by clan logic, strength hierarchy, and fights. This manga has a really good story mainly because it avoided the corny route where fat big breasts were the only way on how you gained readers, but no. Following the events of its prequel, it shows a new protagonist striving to become the top of the school. However, what makes Worst great is that it focuses on the lives of the town's other key individuals, something that I feel was of a massive importance to the story. As a sequel to Crows and Sonogo no Crows, the art really took it to another level and stepped up. The backgrounds are done really well, the character designs were A1. And most of all, the characters. All I can say is you love all of them. I'm gonna give this a 9.5. And so at number 1 is we have Sun Ken Rock. The story revolves around Ken, a man from an upper-class family that was orphaned young due to his family's involvement with the Yakuza. He became a high school delinquent known for fighting. The only thing that motivates him to take action is through his romantic affections for a classmate, Yumi. After learning she decided to move to Korea to become a police officer, Ken leaves his life in Japan behind and tries to follow in Yumi's footsteps. Due to unforeseen circumstances, he incidentally becomes the head of a local gang and tries to hide it from Yumi. As the leader, the gang is renamed the Sun Ken Rock Group. The story was really good but kinda fell apart on some arcs, but the other following arcs pulled it back up. Good manga nonetheless. The art is really good, no denying that. The characters are really well written, while even some of the antagonists as well. I give this manga an 8.7. And so that's all for this video, guys. I hope you liked it and you learned something and you got some from my suggestions. And if you want more, just comment down below on what genre you want me to do next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.